Okay, at this time, I'm going to call to order this regular meeting of the Mineola Independent School District Board of Trustees. It's Monday, October 20th, 2025, and for the record, the time is 6 o'clock. The following board members are present: Jennifer Abercrombie, Kendall Banks, Glenn Dawsett, Gio Kiemba, Jeffrey White, myself, Rodney Watkins. Jay had texted and said he would be a few minutes late, so he will be here shortly. The purpose of this meeting has been posted according to the requirements of Section 551 of the Texas Education Code. Item B on the agenda is open forum. I know no one signed up because
there's nobody here but us.
I've still got to read all this. If you have joined the meeting tonight and you wish to address the board, now is the time for you to come forward and make your remarks. The trustees may not respond to items not listed on the agenda, but will in every way possible make sure your concerns are reviewed, and if necessary, call for an agenda item related to that concern at a future meeting. All comments should be limited to 3 minutes. As presiding officer of the board, I have the responsibility to remind you that individual personnel issues are discussed in executive session. Therefore, please limit all public comments to program situations and/or issues. Okay. At this time, I'm going to call the board into executive session according to the provisions found in Section 551.072 and 551.074 of the Texas Government Code. No final action, final decision, or final vote will be taken in executive session. An open meeting will follow the executive session where any final action deemed necessary and so posted will be taken by this board. For the record, the time is 6:02. I'm now going to declare the Board of Trustees back in open session. For the record, the time is 7:10 p.m. While in executive session, no final action, final decisions, or final votes were taken. At this time, I'm going to call on Superintendent Mize to lead us in the invocation. Please stand.
Let's pray. Father God, we thank you for the day, and we thank you for the opportunity to be here this evening. Thank you for all of our students and their families and all of our employees that will be recognized at tonight's meeting. Father, we thank you for their leadership on their campuses. We thank you for their diligent work to make those campuses and our school district a better place. Father, we just pray for your wisdom tonight, that you guide us in the decisions that are made, and Father, that you would continue to keep our school district a safe place. And Father, just let us continue to serve you with the best of our capabilities. And we ask all this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Yes, sir. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, on behalf of the Board of Trustees and Superintendent, we would like to welcome everyone here tonight. This is our second regular meeting back after the summer break of having smaller meetings, but it's always good to see a lot of parents and children up here. Item F on the agenda is public forum. I don't think we've got anybody that signed up. If you want to address the board, you can sign up real quick. Otherwise, I still have to read this verbatim, so just bear with me for a minute. If you have joined the meeting tonight and you wish to address the board, now is the time for you to come forward and make your remarks. The trustees may not respond to items not listed on the agenda, but will in every way Make sure your concerns are reviewed and if necessary, call for an agenda item related to the concern at a future meeting. Comments should be limited to 3 minutes. As presiding officer of the board, I have the responsibility to remind you that individual personnel issues are discussed in executive session. Therefore, please limit all public comments to programs, situations, and/or issues. Okay, we didn't have anybody sign up, so we can move on to item G is the superintendent's report with Superintendent Mize.
Mr. President, members of the board, guests that are present tonight, I know we've got a lot of our students here that are going to be recognized as Students of the Month tonight. So I want to be the very first to say congratulations to y'all. Thank you for your effort that you put into your campus every day. And thank you to the parents and grandparents here and the guardians that are here because before they come to us, you're their very first teachers. And so the character traits that they develop, their abilities to lead and understand, obviously that comes from a very supportive environment in your home, and we get to add to that here in the school. So thank y'all for being here tonight. Also to our employees that'll be recognized here later, I'd like to be the first to congratulate y'all as well. Thank you for all that you do to make your campuses a better place and all of the hard work that goes into that. It's hard to believe that we've already started the second 9 weeks, but a quarter of the school year is already over with. And so we are on the moving into that second quarter of the school year, so to speak. This Thursday, October the 23rd, our kids won't be in school, but we do have student parent conferences, teacher conferences. Those are going on across the campus. And so I would encourage those that are here and those maybe that are not here that would receive this message. It's a great opportunity for you to set up a time with your child's teacher, visit the campus, and check on the progress of your child through the first 9 weeks. We've got fall break as well that kind of ties into that. Friday, October the 24th, we're out of school. All of our district and campus offices will be closed, and that extends also to Monday, October the 27th. So we'll return to school on that Tuesday. Hope everybody enjoys the long weekend, and hopefully these fall temperatures will hang around so that we can all enjoy that. A few shout outs that I want to make. Today, we had a young lady, Miss Rayleigh Peoples, that qualified to be able to go to the state cross-country meet. So I want to give a big shout out to her. Congratulations to her and all of her efforts. Our varsity volleyball program is currently 8-2 on the season. They've clinched a playoff spot, and so super proud of those girls and the hard work that they're putting in. And then also the Sound of the Swarm. You notice our band, they compete at some big-time competitions to start out the year. I heard the other day we competed in Royce City, and when the judges' scores came out, we were ahead of Highland Park. So that tells you the quality of our band program. I think that's pretty evident. They went to Bossier City this last weekend, and they finished in second place to a 7A school from Mississippi. And so they'll start that journey to repeat as state champions. It starts tomorrow at 11:45 at the regional contest in Mount Pleasant. If they advance from there, they'll go to area. If they advance from area, it'll be the second Wednesday in November is when the state marching band competition will be held in San Antonio. So we wish the Sound of the Swarm good luck as they try to repeat as state champions at the state marching contest. If you don't have plans this weekend, the Mineola High School one-act play company and crew, they're doing a dinner theater. Check the websites for that. Check information on the Facebook page for that. I can guarantee you they will entertain you, and you can get a good meal out of it at the same time. And then also Literacy on the Farm is this Saturday, October the 25th. In just a few minutes, we're going to recognize our principals, October's principal recognition month. And so if our kids were in here, if we had the kids to guess this out, who is the most influential person in a kid's success? All the research says this. It's a teacher first. And then right behind that is a campus principal and assistant principal. So we get to recognize those folks here just a little bit later after we recognize our students. Y'all stick around for that as well. And that's all I've got, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you. We're going to move on to item H, which is recognitions and celebrations. I will tell you that a lot of times people want to get up and leave. We're going to take a break as soon as we get through with all the recognitions and celebrations. And then if you don't want to stay for the rest of the meeting, you're free to leave at that time. Just wanted to mention that to everyone. So we will start off with the primary school students of the month.
Good evening, everyone. It is my honor to congratulate our Mineola Primary School Students of the Month. We have second graders Hannah Winters and Michael Vargas. And both of these students are in Mrs. Harris and Mrs. McMahon's class and are exceptional leaders, hard workers, and independent. Mrs. Harris shares the following about Hannah. I have been so blessed to have Hannah in my first grade class and in my second grade class. Hannah absolutely loves school and learning. Every day she comes into my classroom and greets me with excitement and is ready for whatever the day brings. She often volunteers to pass out papers and eagerly participates during group discussions by raising her hand to share thoughtful answers. Hannah works hard on every single assignment and is always willing to jump in and help classmates. She leads by example and represents our little yellow jackets well, always showing kindness and positivity towards others. Mrs. McMahon shares the following about Michael. Michael Vargas was an easy choice for Student of the Month because of his hard work, determination, and perseverance. He always comes into class ready to work hard and learn new concepts. He is determined to master every new skill and loves to celebrate when he has accomplished those skills. Not only is Michael a good student, but he is also a caring and compassionate classmate that looks for opportunities to serve others. Michael, we are so proud of you and thankful to have you in our class family. Hannah Winters and Michael Vargas.
Here you go, Miss Hannah. I love your boots.
She's our fashionista too.
Fashionista,
Yes.
here you go, Michael. We're gonna come over and we're gonna take a picture over here, okay? Come on over. We said yay.
Miss Brown. Oh, don't fall.
We're not gonna lean on it.
No. Congratulations, Hannah and Michael. All right, next up we have our Teacher of the Month, Miss Brown, and it is our honor to present her to you guys. Chelsea Brown is a proud graduate of Mineola ISD, class of 2015, right? I'll make sure I got that right. And her day actually starts well before anybody else in the building and ends after anybody else in the building because she is one of the first people and last people students see because she's one of our amazing bus drivers as well. So she starts her day early and does a wonderful job in that realm of her life too. Let's see. Ms. Brown, these are some things your coworkers shared about you. Ms. Brown exhibits the patience of Job, even when faced with some of the most challenging classroom behaviors. While she is soft-spoken, she also listens to her students and responds with full attention and respect for them. She maintains high academic expectations while also being deeply attuned to her students' social and emotional needs. We were blessed to see all of Ms. Brown's wonderful traits in action when our granddaughter was in her class. The care, patience, and genuine connection she gives each student truly makes a difference. And this one is so true. And while it may not be official record, we are fairly certain Ms. Brown could hold the title for the most loose teeth pulled because we send a lot to her. I'm like, we don't do that. Go see Ms. Brown. A true sign of trust and comfort her students feel with her. She is a wonderful first grade teacher, teammate, and an advocate for all students, and we love and appreciate you very much, Ms. Brown.
She's the best scorekeeper too.
Oh, she is?
She is.
Okay. Look at another talent. Congratulations, Chelsea. Just get out of your way.
All right, y'all get up there and stand. This is about you, not me. don't trip each other. Okay, good. Okay, it is my pleasure tonight to recognize MIS's fourth grade students of the month, Rosalind Nunez and Micah Lacey. Both Rosalind and Micah are students in Ms. Shook's homeroom, and she describes them as who bring positivity, kindness, and focus into the classroom every single day. They both help create a welcoming and productive learning environment by being helpful to their classmates, considerate in their words, and always ready to learn. Rosalind, Ms. Shook says you are known for your positive attitude, willing to help others, and you're always engaged, encourages her peers, and takes pride in doing the right thing. Your enthusiasm for learning and your sense of responsibility make you a true role model for your classmates. Micah is a quiet leader. He leads by example. He shows kindness in his actions, respect in his attitude, and effort in all he does. Micah, you are a calm and caring spirit that helps set the tone in your classroom, and your teachers appreciate how consistently you give your very best. Both Rosalind and Micah exemplify what it means to show Yellow Jacket respect and responsibility every day. We're proud to have them represent MIS, and congratulations, Rosalind and Micah. We're going to give you a certificate and you're going to take a photo. You can just meet us over there. Make it easier. Miss Rockstar. This month I am proud to recognize Miss Helen Crow as our staff member of the month. Miss Crow joined our MIS family this year as our librarian, and it's safe to say she's completely transformed the heart of our campus, the library. Her peers describe her as always smiling, always positive, and always willing to lend a helping hand whenever is needed. She has done an incredible job bringing energy and excitement to the library, and as one teacher has shared, students actually love going to the library now. Thank you. Don't leave me hanging. Okay. Helen's kindness, creativity, and enthusiasm has made a noticeable impact on our students and staff alike. Whether she's organizing engaging displays, helping a student find the right book, or jumping in to assist wherever she's needed, Helen embodies the spirit of teamwork and the joy we value so deeply at MIS. A little information about Miss Crow. She was born and raised in Austin. She officially became a Mineola resident in April of 2024. She is a proud mom and of a beautiful 4-year-old daughter, Genevieve. And together they both began their first school year here at MISD. Miss Genevieve is here at pre-K, and of course Helen is in our library. Helen says becoming our librarian has been the best decision for her and her family. Outside of school, she enjoys spending time with her daughter, making memories, and bringing her creativity to life through photography, painting, and crafting. Ms. Crow, we're so thankful for the joy, creativity, and warmth you bring to MIS, and congratulations on being our staff member of the month. Thank you. Okay, you'll officially have your photo made.
Okay, good evening. I am excited to introduce you to our 7th grade students of the month, Miss Kyrie Enix and Eli Zamalek. Eli is very, very busy with many athletic things, so he could not be with us tonight, but we'll talk about him first and honor him even though he's not here. Okay, Eli Zamalek, his teachers say that he is a standout student who shines both academically and athletically. His hard work, dedication, and positive attitude make him a role model for his classmates. Whether in the classroom or on the field, he consistently gives his best and inspires those around him. So that is Eli Zamalek. And then in the room, we have Miss Kyrie Enix. Kyrie is new to us this year, but quickly became one of us. We love her and are so glad that she is part of our MMS team. Her teachers say that she may be new to our school, but she's made a big impact. She has excelled academically and has a natural ability to make friends, showing kindness and inclusivity to everyone around her. Her positive attitude and hard work make her a wonderful role model for her peers. Congratulations to Kyrie Enix and Eli Zamalek.
Do you want to get a picture?
Oh, thank you.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Perfect. Okay. All right, Miss Pendergrass, or as our kids call her, Miss P. I'm so excited and happy to present to you tonight our Employee of the Month, Miss Amanda Pendergrass. Amanda has been at Mineola now 4 years?
5 years.
5 years, yes. 5 years, and she has served for the last 4 as a sped para, correct? Okay, good. And she is a jewel. We could not do so many of the things that we do without her. Miss McKinney and Coach Fisher both just went on and on about how willing her heart is towards her kids and towards her fellow staff members. And so putting all those together, Miss Pendergrass is always willing to lend a helping hand. She goes above and beyond to support both students and staff. She consistently builds meaningful connections with students and creates a positive and supporting and learning environment in whatever classroom that she's in, all while working to get her degree in education. So in about a year, she can be up here as our Teacher of the Month, right? So we just want to thank you, Amanda, for all your hard work, and you make MMS a better place. So Amanda Pendergrass.
All right, Catherine, going. Very fortunate to recognize these 2 kids. I can't say enough about them. They walk the halls and very reserved for the most part, but always a good smile on their faces. So we do love that about these 2 champions here. I want to speak on Catherine's behalf right now. It's Catherine Paredes. I asked her, what do you want to do with your future? They're juniors. She said, I want to have a career in accounting or something with mathematics, which me going, okay, we just started UIL. We need to get her in mathematics. So Cameron, be sure you put a note on that. Put a pin in it. We may have to pull her in for that. She would like to thank and recognize her mom for taking her to her theater rehearsal. She's a part of Act One Company. And, of course, to her performances. She enjoys crocheting, origami, and making bracelets, and would like to recognize one of her friends as a champion, and that would be Madison Snook for being a champion because she is so kind and always open to make new friends. And one of her favorite teachers is Mr. Cox, and he said this about Catherine. She has done a phenomenal job the past couple years and has been a leader for our program. Even though she has seniors who easily don't have to listen to her, she has not only gained my respect, but those around her in the program. So, Catherine, we're very proud of you, and you're a great representative Student of the Month. Now, for Cohen, Miss Ray put me up to this, so we'll hold off just for a minute. But I want to read a few things about him. He loves to fish. He loves to watch sports outside of school. And I asked him, what are some words that you live by? And I love this. He said, Psalms 119, 105, thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Love it. So he also wants to give a shout out to his parents for their support in everything that he does. And his champion was Cameron Kelly, a classmate that has a great attitude when he walks into class and also does what he asks of him. So I don't know what that means. We have to talk later about that. But Mr. McGowl, this has to pertain to you. It says, the rumor has it that he loves the Arkansas Razorbacks. And he also knows how to call in the Hogs.
Oh, no.
So we want to hear this. You got something for us here? A unique talent? All right, let me hear it.
Do them together.
Pigs away.
Good job. Good job. Got that on film.
I'm so happy about that.
In the words of Huck Finn and Tom Sawyer, the way I see it, it looks like this. Either you ain't or either you is. A true blue lover of the swine, folks. How about a handful of hogs? Right? Good deal. Hey, we thank y'all for letting us recognize them tonight. So, okay. I need to get in there. All right, one of my favorites right here. Employee of the Month, Miss Sherry Moore. Means a lot to me. I've known her for a long time. Her husband was my head coach, so I almost want to call her mom. And she treats me like that for the most part. She really irons out things for me, so I can't say enough about how much of a help and support she's been for me in this transition to be the head principal. So I do want to read a few things here. I won't tell you who wrote it. For the most part, you'll probably figure it out. It says this: from helping students and parents with registration to keeping records and sometimes people in order. She handles it all with patience and care, and it is not unusual for her to stop what she is doing to help others get what they need. She is consistently going above and beyond every single day to support our staff and students. And this is how she is at home. Totally selfless, always caring for me. Whew, tough challenge right there. Our children and our grandchildren. She keeps us on our toes and on the straight and narrow. She is the best wife, mom, and meemaw imaginable. Miss Sherry Moore.
So our last presentation, we've typically done Buzz's Ultimate Effort Award in this spot. But since October is Principal Appreciation Month, there's probably nobody more deserving than an Ultimate Effort Award than your campus principal. And these folks, they do a little bit of everything. I don't know that fully going to get your master's degree after you spent time in the classroom and then becoming a principal, it's an all new experience. And you deal with a variety of things, and the day moves very fast. They put in a lot of hours to help our teachers and our faculty and staff be a success. And when I go to superintendent meetings and are able to talk about this group, I always brag on them because you're just as good as your leadership. And I say this and I truly believe it. We've got the best campus principals and assistant principals in East Texas, and they make good things happen on the campuses for our kids. So I'm super thankful for them, appreciate all they do, and I want to recognize them as they get an opportunity to come up. Our primary school principal is Miss Jolie Ray.
Did you learn anything from Cohen?
Oh, I got to see that in second grade. Yeah, did great.
Our assistant principal at the primary campus, Mr. James Navenshire. intermediate school principal, Miss Angela Shine. You bet. Our intermediate assistant principal, and wearing a good shirt, by the way, Mr. Nick Kelly. I know, yeah. Gotta wear it now. Our middle school principal, Miss Brittany Thompson. Our middle school assistant principal, Mr. Joshua Snook. Our high school principal, Mr. Adam McMahon. Yeah. And our high school assistant principal, Mr. Cameron Frazier. Now we've got some cool gifts for y'all here. And I was told y'all put in your request for your favorite candy, your favorite drink. So you've got a little basket there, and then also there's a note for a gift that's going to come a little bit later that I think you will really appreciate as the weather cools down. So you've got your little basket there, and then let's get a group picture behind the background. Y'all give them a big round of applause.
This concludes our celebrations and recognitions. We're going to take a 5-minute break, but we certainly appreciate all of you being here tonight. If you'd like to stay through the rest of the meeting, we got about 17 things to cover, but if not, you're free to leave. Thank you. Okay, we're going to get back started. Thank those of you that decided to stay or had to stay, whichever case. The first item on here is consider information and action on items discussed in executive session.
Mr. President and members of the board, we've got just a few resignations, 1 from transportation, 3 from custodial services, and then also one of our Wood County co-op bus drivers. Ms. Christian Martin has brought forth her resignation. That'll be effective Thursday, October the 23rd. Charles Winnington and Courtney McGahee, both in custodial services, and then Mr. Cody Atkins in custodial services, and then Cindy Substrea, our Wood County co-op bus driver, has resigned as well. And then also a new hire for custodial services, Trinity Shue. Those are non-actionable employees since they're paraprofessionals, but just wanted to bring that to y'all's attention. And then we also have, as we've discussed in executive session and protected by executive session, is our basic emergency operations plan, also with our active shooter annex, and I would recommend that the board approve that.
Okay, entertain a motion. We've got a motion and a second. Signify approval by raising your right hand. Same sign if opposed. Motion carried and was unanimous. Moving on to item J. It's information items. This is financial report for September. Mr. Spark.
All right, for September financials, we had an ending cash balance of a little over 8.8 million, just under 8.9 million. That's up from the previous month due to our settle up from TEA. Total revenues so far in the month of September, 3.6 million. Total expenditures, 2.8 million. So we're definitely underway on both revenues and expenditures. Bond interest, as per usual, we're up about 10,000 from the previous month. That's been our interest payment every month, just about. So $2.194 million interest received on the bond funds. You will see an update to the arbitrage amount, which has been calculated as of August 31st at $322,523. So that'll be the amount that we will owe back. It'll be recalculated again in a year, probably a little bit added to it, but that'll be fairly close to the number because we don't have a whole lot that's left drawing interest at this point. Do we have any questions on any of those balances?
So on the arbitrage at 322, we keep that.
No, that's what that's basically interest that we've earned over what we were allowed to.
But I mean, it's in our possession.
Yeah, it's in our possession now, so we're actually still earning interest on that amount too. So now, if the rates go down significantly in the next year, it would reduce probably any increase to this, but it's probably not really going to reduce that amount that much because
Is it finalized?
Once we spend the last dollar of bond funds. Now, here's the other thing to keep in the back of your head is that it's calculated off of the actual bond proceeds, which we have almost spent all of at this point. Basically, all that's left in the bank account is the interest. So this number is almost a final number because we actually have almost spent all the bond proceeds. If there's no other questions on those numbers, you notice on your taxes, it's all zeros. The tax levy had not been calculated as of the end of September, nor the notices sent out. And so it was actually the same thing last year. So September tax report, you really don't have much on there. We do have on the actual report, what we did was we just kind of extended it out. And if you want to look at it this way, this would be the 13th month report of last year's taxes. And so the current taxes for 24-25 were up to 96.3% and 98.77 on delinquents. So getting a little bit closer to collecting all those. And then the new tax notices are currently in the process of going out. I think I've gotten a couple texts from people today asking if it was correct they owed $0. So yeah, I believe that's correct. So so any questions on financial reports or the kind of jumped ahead to the taxes there, but any questions on that? All right. Before we get to the enrollment report, number 2 on your agenda there is consolidation of bank accounts. And so I had mentioned this to a couple of you before, but I think it's going to be to our advantage to maybe consolidate a couple of our accounts. We have 16 bank accounts total. Some of those are necessary to be separate, but we have a few that we do have to transfer money back and forth between during the month for various reasons. And it may be a little bit easier to keep track of those bank statement reconciliations if all those were consolidated into one, which is what most other districts around us do as well. There's several districts around us that just have one bank account total. There's a couple that have 2 or 3 accounts. So just wanted to kind of give you information that we may be looking into what might be the most advantageous to us moving forward on maybe consolidating 2, 3, 4 of those accounts. So any questions on that or concerns? Okay. Lastly, we have the enrollment reports. We are at 1,791 students. We lost 2 from last month, but we got somebody out looking for them, so we'll track them down and bring them back. So 1,791, that's right below your all-time high for the district. And then our attendance rates range from 94.2% to 96.3% at the middle school. So, good job. Questions on enrollment? All right, next we have some guests here from Colonial Roofing. They're going to come up and speak to you a little bit about the options and services they provide to address our roofing needs. And so I thought it would be good to have them come and kind of explain some of their process and pricing structure. So we'll invite them up at this time.
All right, hi guys, how you doing? I'm Kyle Burgess. I'm one of the owners of Colonial Roofing. Basically, we've been asked to give you a little presentation of what we do, and it's slightly different than traditional roofing. We don't necessarily do tear off and replacement. What we do is actually, if the existing substrate is good, we can go over it with a 100% silicone membrane system and completely seal the entire thing. And we do that, and we offer up to 20-year warranty, and we do it at a fraction of the cost of your normal tear off. So I know that we're looking at the high school and the CTE center. We've already put eyes on it, and it's the modified minimum. And I put little bitty, some little samples there, and you can feel what it looks like on top of your modified bit. And like I said, we're located out of south of Fort Worth. We roof for schools all over Texas. We just finished up one of your neighbors right over here at Marshall Independent School District. We were able to do their early graduation center and the entire high school. So and it's very beautiful. We just now wrapped it up. And we're actually meeting with another one of your neighbors out there on Wednesday. Alba Golden's coming out to check it out. And we urge you guys, if you want to come out, check it out. And we'll be there, and you can get up, take a look, see what it feels like and looks like. And yeah, and I brought Justin here. He's with our manufacturer that we go through and get all of our materials through. So he's going to give you about 36 slides you can look at. I'm just kidding. He's going to make it short and sweet. So I'll introduce him. This is Justin right here.
How you doing? I'm Justin Warner with Progressive Materials. So we are a silicone roof coating manufacturer. Silicone's been around since the 60s, and it's gone through some ups and downs until the formula got really good. And coatings kind of had a bad name because there were so many different kind of coatings on the market. I have been installing coatings for the last 20 years, and I just think it's a great system to do if your roof qualifies for it. If you need to tear a roof off, get a full roof replacement. But if your roof qualifies for a restoration and being able to get a 20-year warranty, I think it's a great option, especially for schools when budget is always a concern. At the end of our warranties are renewable. So if you choose a 5, 10, 15, or 20-year warranty, at the end of that warranty, we can come back and take a look at your roof, see what type of very minimal skim coat we have to do to that roof, and come back and renew your warranty to up to 20 years again. It has a great reflectivity rating on it, 88%. Department of Energy did a study on it, and it saves 50 cents a square foot every year in energy costs. So if you have a school with rooftop units on it, it's going to help those AC units run a lot less, keep the roof a lot cooler, keep the school a lot cooler. Ponding water is another great issue. If you have low-lying areas on your roof, we withstand ponding water great. I actually coated a friend of mine's parents' swimming pool about 10 years ago because we just wanted to try it out and see what would happen. And the swimming pool doesn't leak anymore, and the material's still there. Any questions? Concerns?
What sort of, what you said, 20-year warranty now?
Uh-huh.
What do you cover? What's on the cover?
Labor and material. So we've never had to fully activate a warranty where it's water just came through a roof and say like damaged a server room or anything like that, but we would cover that. We rely, our certified contractors that we have, we make sure they are good partners for us, so we've never had any major claims like that. But if, say, there was an issue over a server room and our material failed for some reason, we would cover all the damages from the top down to the bottom.
You mean it like if it leaks? That's
Right.
What I'm talking. Now, is this warranty, is it prorated or?
Not at all. full 20 years. So the contractor, the first 2 years of it, they cover the labor end of it, and we provide the material. And then the rest of the 18 years, we have the labor and material. That way, if a contractor ever did go out of business or anything, we would just connect you with another one of our certified contractors to come do the repairs.
Adding this material on there, how hard is it to replace the roof? We had to tear it off completely and replace it.
It's going to come off with the substrate that it's adhered to. And there's no landfill issues. It's an organic material. So, landfill isn't going to upcharge you for disposing of that material.
So did you say at the beginning, if your roof is good, it's not as big of a deal, but if we have leaks, then?
Well, yeah. So what I'm talking about is if you had a older roof that is just falling apart, I would say replace that roof. But if you have a 10, 15, 20-year-old roof, sometimes we see older roofs. I just looked at one that was 60 years old the other day, and it qualified for a coating. We can coat over it. And in order to qualify that roof, the contractor does a moisture survey of the roof to see, if your roof is soaking wet and all the insulation's wet, let's tear that roof off and go a different route. So we have a 30% threshold. If more than 30% of the roof is wet underneath, then we need to look at some different options. So we do a moisture survey and then adhesion test to the roof to make sure 100% that silicone is going to adhere to the roof before we go any further.
Y'all looked at our roof?
We have, right? Yeah.
But you have to do this, you have to do other things before you know whether or not it qualifies.
We've looked at it. We haven't done a adhesion test or a moisture survey, but I've been doing this long enough. I can pretty much just look at something and tell you if it's going to be a yes or no. And then adhering to modified bitumen, which is what you have up there right now, we've never had any issue adhering to that. The roofs that we have, that we look out for, that we have issues with, is a cold tar pitch, like an old tar and gravel roof that was done in the 50s, 60s. Those are active roofs still, so every time it heats up, that roof kind of comes alive and moves around, and the asphalt resettles in it. And the reason why we can adhere to it, coating over it is no good because they off-gas every day they heat up, and so you're going to get giant blisters in the silicone. But it technically would adhere to it.
All those HVAC units, they have to be moved?
They do not. There's no disruption of the current roof that you have up there. As far as the installation process, it's probably going to be one of the quietest you've ever had. The loudest thing up there is the prep work, and that's power washing the roof. After the roof is clean and dry, you don't hear anything up there. Maybe some walking around, and that's it. And very low VOCs as well. So as far as HVAC units running up there, and if you're worried about a smell coming into the building, and there's nothing.
Is this primarily designed for metal roofs, or?
We're designed for any substrate. We go over metal, TPO, any asphalt roof, concrete, anything you can throw at us. Foam, which I'm not a huge foam fan, but it's out there.
Rod, are we looking to do this on the CT building and the high school at the same time, or just one and another? Or are we just looking at that?
It's just information for options that may be available for us.
And if you guys like, I'm sure we could set it up with Colonial. And if y'all wanted to come out and take a look at Marshall High School, it just got done. It's about 250,000 square feet, so it's got a little bit of everything up there as well. It's a beautiful roof.
What color they do?
They did white. And we can do any custom color you wanted to do. If you wanted to put a logo up there, or if you had a roof that you could see from the ground and you didn't want to look at a white roof, we can do grays, tans.
I don't really think we see the roof.
Yeah.
So when y'all apply that, is that like a two-part deal, or are you just coming in with silicone?
So with the process for modified, which is what you have up there, you come in and you wash everything. A bleed block is an option. If bleed block isn't used, the asphalt is going to bleed through the silicone and it's going to yellow a little bit. So you come through and you put your bleed block in, you do take care of all your penetrations, your seams, all your detail work, and then come in with one pass for your top coat of silicone.
What about some customers that have 5 to 10 years ago? Have you got any of those?
I have a lot of those.
That's what I'd be interested in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have to do this during the summer, or is this?
Nope. Really, we're year round as long as the roof is dry.
Kids can be in school?
They can be in school. They did one, I don't remember the school, and it was during testing time, and no one ever heard them up there. Didn't interfere with any testing or anything like that. Is that B, Phil? Yeah.
What about quotes on price for what is it, what has to be done? Is there-
I just sell the material.
We will be getting quotes to Superintendent Keith there, Assistant Superintendent Keith there, and we'll get it all together and submit it to him, and I guess get what you
So that's
guys.
something you were gonna do anyway, is a quote?
Yeah, well, yes, we're gonna quote them both. The CTA had some, I guess the AC guys had left years worth of AC stuff up there, so you gotta get that removed, and then you do have some solar panels on the high school. I don't know if they still work. They don't look like they do, so it might be something, get that removed too. I don't know. I don't think we're qualified to remove solar panels and dispose of them. But other than that, yes, we'll be getting quotes for you.
And another great thing about it too, I forgot about that school with all the HVAC units on it. If you have an HVAC technician up there and they're carrying a heavy compressor and they drop the compressor and a sharp edge ends up going through the material, instead of, if you had a TPO roof or whatnot up there and you have to bring out generators and a welder and everything to do a patch, this is very easy. You can take a rag and some water and kind of clean the area, patch that area, and you're good to go. It's not going to affect your warranty as long as you can get that HVAC technician to, it's okay, they can tell you about it, and if
You won't know it's done.
Sure.
They usually don't.
Yeah, HVAC technicians are
And you
our
do,
arch nemesis.
you do have some TPO in the high school, so that if you were to look, we did TPO over at Marshall also. And, but you do have TPO in the mod bid at the high school. I don't think you had metal there.
So TPO then, I forgot there was TPO there. That would be the only system that does require primer. It's going to be a higher VOC, so it's going to have smell to the primer. It flashes off quick, but usually when they do it after school hours. That way there's no issues with kids smelling anything inside or anyone smelling anything inside. Once you apply it, the smell's there for maybe 5-10 minutes and it's flashed off. Any other questions, concerns? Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you for your time, guys. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Okay. So item J6 is District English Learners Program Evaluation. Is Ms. Pecorino here?
She said this one.
Oh, okay.
So Ms. Pecorino had me step in for her tonight. She's not feeling very well. So what I need to go over is our annual report that has to be presented to the board about our bilingual and ESL program. So we have, at the primary and intermediate, we have a typical bilingual program. That means that the students are being instructed in Spanish and English. And then at the middle school and high school, we have an ESL program, which means we have them being taught in English with language supports. The next slide shows us the enrollment. So you can see the primary has 16.7% EB students. The intermediate has 14.4%. The middle school has 16.75%, and the high school has 14.37%, which leads us to the district number of 15.76% of our student population is classified as emergent bilinguals. This is an increase of 6%, and you can see the trend over the last 5 years of our EB population increase. And this is a slide that shows the STAR scores for Mineola ISD on the non-EB students compared to the EB students, and then compared to the state. And TELPAS is part of our Closing the Gaps for Accountability, so you can see there that 100% across the district scored in the growth for the TELPAS proficiency test, which means that that is an amazing number for our EB students. And then from 23 to 24-25 school year, there was a 78% overall increase of students gaining a higher TELPAS rating, so they moved up levels. The number of students that have reclassified over last school year was 25. That is the most students we've had be reclassified in the last 20 years. So when we're talking reclassification, they've moved out of needing the supports and the ESL or bilingual supports and are being just monitored. So that's a significant gain for those students to be exited out of the program. This is our professional development that was provided to the teachers in the 24-25 school year. And several of these things, Ms. Pecorino is the provider of those, and then some of them are where we send the teachers to Region 7. We did have to fill out a bilingual ESL exception waiver for the 4th and 5th grade because we currently do not have teachers that are certified in ESL or bilingual in those 2 grade levels, and they met the requirements to have that need there. And that is something we're working on, is getting more teachers ESL certified, but to get ESL certified, they have to have their teaching certification, and so we have several that are going through the Alt-Cert program as well. And then our last slide just shows a comprehensive professional development plan that Ms. Pecorino and I are working towards so that we can provide that to the teachers. Any questions?
I want to brag on Ms. Pecorino because if you remember a few years ago, I guess it's probably been 3 years now, Ms. Foster, is that right? You know, Ms. Pecorino was teaching Spanish for us at the high school and had a job offer to be able to go to a neighboring district to do this role. And so just based on the population needs that we have in our district, 34% being Hispanic, and as you've seen here, almost 16% being emerging bilingual. She's been a great addition to the staff to provide that coordinator and leadership position in this area. And I think all those statistics and numbers, there's kids behind them that she's made a real impact on. So very thankful for her leadership in that area.
Okay, any questions or comments? This is an action item, so if there's not any questions, comments, entertain a motion.
That's not an action.
Oh, there's not?
It's just
Information.
the next one.
Oh, I looked at the wrong one.
You're
Yeah.
okay.
Now we're moving to action item. I skipped ahead, so, first item on the action item is consent agenda. And do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the September 22nd meeting and the special called meeting on October 6, 2025?
I'll move.
Got a motion made and a second. Signify approval, raising your right hand. Same sign if opposed. Motion carried, was unanimous. K2A, discuss, consider, and take action on approval of Spanish credit by examination assessment for Spanish 1 and 2 at Mineola High School.
So if you'll remember, we've been doing this for several years. Ms. Pecorino and myself worked to provide the opportunity for our native speaking Spanish students to be able to test out a Spanish 1 and Spanish 2. So it is a action item for the board to be able to approve that we continue allowing those students to be able to do that, because it opens up other opportunities in their schedules for them to take other courses for us. And so that's just the information from last year about how many students took advantage of that and worked on that. So it would be both of our recommendations that we continue to do that.
Okay, we got a motion made and a second. Signify approval, raising your right hand. Same sign if opposed. Motion carried, was unanimous. K2B, discuss, consider, and take action on policy EFB, instructional resources, library materials.
Mr. President, members of the board, this EFB policy is our local policy concerning everything to do with library books and materials. And so this is a pretty extensive policy. It's 6 pages long. I hope you've had a chance to kind of review that, but I'll give you the basics so that you can have some understanding of it. There has been a massive effort at the last 2 legislative sessions to address library materials that are coming into our public schools. And so through this effort, this policy is an actual addition of legislative work that was done last session. And this really puts a lot of ownership in what comes into the library into the board's hands. And so to kind of give you some administrative guidelines behind the policy, I'll go over this with you and give you kind of a 50,000-foot overview. But the process for purchasing library books at the campus level would look like this. The requester would have the library books that they want to purchase, and they would have a meeting with the campus principal. That would be step 1. So once step 1 has been resolved, step 2 would be meeting with our certified librarians, which we contract with Region 7 to provide that service. And so Region 7 would come into a meeting with myself. We would look at those books. We would make sure that they are certainly age appropriate and the content's appropriate for our kids. And then those books would be posted for 30 days for public review to be seen before they come to the board for formal approval. And so that is the process that would go through. This policy also has outlined if someone wanted to challenge a book, what would that look like? The campus would organize a committee that would do work to investigate this nature. They would hold a public meeting where they would hear the complaint regarding the book. This committee does have an appeal process that would eventually come to the board and that could be heard from the board, okay? And then once that book, whatever the board's decision is after the appeal, once that appeal's been done, they can't challenge that for 2 years. And so it's just, it's a very exhaustive process, but it's a really hard look at what is coming into your libraries, what are kids actually picking up and reading, and making sure that we're protecting our kids from materials that they shouldn't have their hands on. And so that's the outline of the policy. This also applies to classroom library sets. So you may have an English teacher that has several books in their possession, and a kid wants to be able to check a book out, that they can check the book out. This would also pertain to those library sets. And so another thing that's a requirement is when a kid checks out a book in our library, that automatically, an electronic notification would go to the parent, to their email account, so that they can see the book that their child's chosen, that they picked out. And so that's been a lot of work going into Follett, which is kind of our online library catalog, and working with Skyward where we could get all that information set up where it would electronically notify a parent. So we've got that in place now. So that's a little bit why this policy's taken a little longer to get to you, because working out the electronic side. But we've got everything in place now. Currently, we haven't purchased any library books this year. And so this is the policy that those books would be going through those steps. We've got some requests at the intermediate campus. There's a series of books that be presented to you after we have gone through those review processes and have documented that. And so we'll be starting that process very soon and carrying it out. So, any questions that I can answer for you on this policy?
Is this just for new books going forward? or
That's
just
correct.
everything-
Yeah, it's not,
everything
to
that's
my
already
knowledge,
in
it's
there?
not retrospective. There was a hard look at some books that, came out that there were certain lists that were shared out that were inappropriate. Thankfully, we were in a position where we just weren't in the same case as some other districts that had some stuff. And let me tell you how that happens a lot of times. What you would have is you would have people who would purchase books that have won some kind of award, and for that age, that appropriateness, and then they would purchase the book, they put it on the shelf. Well, nobody's read the book. That's how some of that stuff got there. And so we were just in a position where we didn't have that, but other districts did deal with that. And so I'm a big advocate for, just like a movie that comes out, you've got a rating on a movie that gives you an idea of the content that's involved in it. I'm a big fan of books having that same thing, especially books for our kids. But unfortunately, that wasn't put into place. This is the process we've got. So that's how we'll do it.
Is there a way for that program, if a parent doesn't want their kid checking out a specific book, they can flag it?
That's absolutely right. Yeah, so what we would do on each of the campuses is to keep a spreadsheet. If a parent ever came and said, hey, listen, I don't want my child reading that book, they can flag that book, and then that kid cannot check that out. Yep, great point. I'm glad you brought that up. Any other questions about the policy?
Nope, I don't think so. If there's no questions, I'll entertain a motion. We got a motion made, and we have a second. Signify approval, raising your right hand. Same sign if opposed, motion carried. It was unanimous. We go to K2C, discuss, consider, and take action on memorandum of understanding with Wood County Behavioral Health Alliance Partnership Agreement.
So, the board has allowed us to be a partner with Clover Education Group, dealing with the support of mental health. And this is part of the grant that we were working towards. This is one of the deliverables from that grant, is we start a alliance coalition. And so Mineola is a part of that, Yantis and Clover, and we're hoping that this will move forward to us receiving more grant money in the future because we've started this alliance. You have an overview, a one-page overview of the alliance with their mission statement, their vision, but essentially it's just to support our local youth and education on mental health and substance abuse prevention. So we're asking that we continue this work and by participating in this alliance.
Okay, we got a motion made. We have a second. Second. If there's no further discussion, signify approval, raising your right hand. Same sign if opposed, motion carried. We're gonna move on to K2E. Is that right? D. That's what I thought. Discuss, consider, and take action on social studies instructional materials for intermediate campus.
So this is another one of those things that y'all are going to be seeing more and more of for board approval, is the instructional materials that are in the classroom. That falls into that parental transparency, and we will be any new materials, and I'm going to try to work towards where even materials that we've been using to provide y'all with a list so that you know the approved instructional materials that each one of the grade levels are using in each of the content areas. And so this is the one that I'm asking for permission for us to purchase, social studies curriculum. It's a supplemental materials for 4 through 5 through the Southern Teach LLC.
Okay, any further discussion? Not entertain a motion. We got a motion made and a second. Signify approval, raising your right hand. Same sign opposed. That motion carried unanimous. Now we're moving to K2E, discuss, consider, and take action on the memorandum of understanding with Mineola ISD and Kelly Blaylock, data and accountability specialist, but we actually don't have.
Yeah, the M&O is currently being completed by their attorney. It'll be sent out to the partnering district, so that's not quite ready yet. So I recommend that we table that and then we pick this back up in November. We've had this for several years now.
Okay. We've got a motion and a second. Signify approval, raising your right hand. Motion carried. Let's see here. Okay. And that was to table. Yeah, K2E. K2F, discuss, consider, and take action on federal grant threshold update. Mr. Parkman.
All right, if y'all will remember, back in, I don't remember if it was the spring or last winter, but the Department of Education updated their purchasing threshold guidance. That was when we took a look at our local policy and we moved it from 500 to 5,000. So at that time, the Department of Education was moving from 5,000 to 10,000. We decided to keep ours at 5, which I think is perfectly fine for what we use our grant funds for. Well, they are increasing again from 10,000 to 15,000. And so what we have to do is we have to take action to either increase with them or to remain at our current threshold, which is what I recommend. And so what that would mean is you would take action to not increase our threshold for the 25-26 school year. And so now this is just grant guidance, but what you also have in place is if your district has a stricter threshold than what the grant guidance is, then that's what you would be bound to. And so we would just keep ours the same. Yeah, 5,000. And then, we can get through this year and we can look at next year. If we want to go to 10 or 15, we can. I don't really see that we have a need to as far as the federal grants go, because the majority of our grant dollars go to salaries. We're not purchasing equipment or expensive supplies with it. So there's other limitations on there. They're also increasing a threshold from 50,000 to 999,000. We're not purchasing anything like that with our grant funds, so that really doesn't even apply to us anyway. So I would say let's vote to not increase ours this year, to keep it the same. That would be my recommendation.
Okay, so we've got a motion and a second over here. If there's no further discussion, we're going to keep it at 5,000 for the 25-26 year. Signify your approval, raising your right hand. Same sign if opposed. Motion carried. We're going to move to K2G, discuss, consider, and take action on budget amendments.
All right, so this budget amendment is for our food service department. So she receives her bills on the 1st of the month. So we got August bills the 1st of September. We pay the bills, we submit a reimbursement report to the state, they process that, we get our reimbursement for the month. So you really don't know how your food service is doing until about mid to the end of September. And so it turned out that this number up here on the screen, this $20,845.29, that's what food service ended up overspent by last year. Actually, it was a little bit more than that. They had about $10,000 in fund balance. So what this is for is we use up the $10,000 in fund balance, but this is the amount that's left over. So we need to do a transfer from 199 to food service to cover that. And so this would be, just to clarify, this would be to be approved, and I would do this journal entry actually for August 31st. It would go on last year's information.
So did we increase our budget this year for food service?
As much as we could, because the whole food service thing is really a guessing game. You have to estimate how many meals you're going to serve. So we got it. I mean, that budget balanced, but so does this next year's budget. So that ended up a little bit over. This one could too, or it could end up a little bit in the black. It's really just a big guessing game. But I have heard from several districts that employ a consultant to manage some of the meal stuff. In particular, Hawkins mentioned to me, they've been using a consultant for, I think, 5 or 6 years, and they said they've been in the black every year. So it might be something I'll research a little bit. So there might be some things in the ordering that we could tweak a little bit that might could help with some of this, because the food costs have gone up along with everything else in our country. So.
Okay, we're voting on the amendment. We got a motion made. We have a second. Any further discussion? If not, signify approval by raising your right hand. Same sign of opposed, motion carried. So do we have anything else we need to discuss? Anything anybody wants to bring up? I want y'all to know, I've been looking at the table back here with the principals. They've been eating and they've been on their phones and their computers. I watch them and they get the little candy bar. I can't see Adam. For some reason, they sent Adam to another table. Okay. The purposes for which this meeting was called being completed, I declare this meeting adjourned.